What's up guys, Sammy here, and today I've got a review of the Denon AVR-X2600H AV receiver. But first, I'd like to say a special thanks to Qualify for sending this over to the channel for review, who are the official distributor for Denon products for Australia. So the Denon AVR-X2600H AV receiver features a 7.2 channel system featuring 150 watts per channel and support for Dolby Atmos and DTS to achieve an amazing surround sound experience. So let's take a look around the unit. Starting from the front, you'll find a input selector which can be used to select the different inputs. Below that you'll find a power button and an LED power indicator. Next up, you've got buttons for adjusting the built-in FM/AM tuner, zone control, dimmer, and status. Below this, you'll find a 1/4-inch TRS female output for a pair of headphones, and a setup mic port which is used specifically for the Odyssey room correction feature, which I'll get into in a moment. Moving along, you have quick input selection buttons, a HDMI input, and a USB port. Lastly, you'll find that volume selector, which like the input selector, feels smooth yet responsive. Okay, taking a look at the back, there is a lot to go over. Starting with the top left and right, you'll find an area for a Bluetooth/Wi-Fi antenna. Below that, you'll find digital audio inputs for your TV/game console, an RJ45 Ethernet port, those 7 HDMI inputs, and 2 HDMI outputs. Note that monitor 1 supports ARC/eARC for support for controlling devices' power, as well as support for Dolby Atmos and DTS-X from your TV. Next, you've got analog inputs for cable/satellite and Blu-ray. You'll also find an analog output and component inputs for DVD/game, and an output for a component display. Below this, you'll find your audio in for phono, a signal ground connector, RCA audio inputs for different devices, and a pre-out for different zones, and support for up to 2 subwoofers. Moving right along, you'll find an area for your FM/AM antennas. You'll find 7 speaker outputs including front right, front left, center, surround right, surround left, surround back right, and surround back left. Lastly, you'll find your AC in. So let's talk a little bit about my setup and my use case. I've been using the Logitech Z906 surround sound system for quite a while, and honestly, still up to this point, I'm impressed with its quality of its speaker and its subwoofer. So I should note that whilst I'm using the Logitech Z906 surround sound speaker system in combination with the AVR-X2600H, it's not recommended as you're not really getting the full potential from this setup. This is what I'm using, however it does work and provides an excellent experience nonetheless. After I managed to get all of the speaker cables plugged into the AVR-X2600H and plugged the HDMI out into my Samsung 4K TV, it presents you with a helpful setup guide. Next, it'll walk you through the Odyssey calibration, and you'll find included in the box a microphone with a tripod support which you can make up. Basically, you want to place this microphone about ear level height of where people will be listening to the audio in the room, and it will give feedback to the receiver about distance of the speakers and to adjust the levels so that it's just about perfect for each listener. This can take a little while, and you may need to reverse polarity of speakers if they're not set up correctly, but in my case it worked. Odyssey will also ask you if you want to enable dynamic audio. I would recommend against this, as there were times where I was listening to music or movies and the audio for different speakers would lower or raise in quiet or loud scenes, and I didn't really like the effect that it produced. So at this point, the receiver will ask you to connect to your network, and you can do this either through Wi-Fi or Ethernet. I chose Ethernet, and it'll ask you if you want to automatically update your AV receiver in standby mode, which I selected yes. It'll also ask you to configure your TV audio connection and give information about its mobile apps for iOS and Android. Next, I wanted to check out its biggest standout feature, smart home integration. You're able to control the AVR-X2600H with Amazon Alexa, Google Assistant, and Apple's Siri voice controls. For one, you're able to control volume, next/previous tracks, and power of the AVR-X2600H with Google Assistant, but you're not able to switch between inputs or ask Google to play a song on Spotify to your receiver, like you can with the Amazon Alexa, and whilst Denon have stated that this would be coming in 2019, it's nearly the end of 2019, so I'm not sure if this is still the plan or not, but I'd hope that they can keep their word to implementing this in the near future. The AVR-X2600H also supports wireless streaming of audio through Spotify, Deezer, TuneIn, and more through its HEOS app, which lets you use your smartphone to control playback on your AV receiver. Personally, I'm a big fan of being able to control the AVR-X2600H on my phone with Denon's app, but I really don't understand why we need two apps that one app could do. Whilst Denon include an IR remote with the AV receiver, you don't get the functionality of being able to control playback through its remote for support like music streaming services. So what are my thoughts of the Denon AVR-X2600H at the end of the day? I think that if you're after a top-notch AV receiver, you really can't go wrong with this one. It features support for 4K at 60Hz with the highest quality pass-through formats, and even though 8K TVs are here, it's not at its main adoption rate yet, so I think this AV receiver will still be good for quite a few years to come. But that's going to wrap it up for my review. If you enjoyed this video, give the video a like, subscribe, and comment telling me what your setup is. But yeah, hope you guys have an awesome day, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.